Demons as representations of physical illness and cellular decay. The meaning of the Greek word daimōn. The Greek word daimōn, dαίμων, a feminine noun, originates from the verb daió, meaning to distribute fortunes or to divide. In ancient Greek thought, daimōn referred to beings that determined human destiny, often acting as intermediaries between gods and humans. These entities were not necessarily evil, but were associated with the unseen forces that shaped a person's life, for better or worse. The term later evolved in popular belief to signify malevolent spirits, particularly in Jewish and Christian traditions. However, the original meaning of daimōn as a divider of destinies offers insight into how the concept of demons in Scripture can be understood in relation to human frailty, illness, and mortality. Demons as personified spirits. In Greek mythology, many aspects of human life and abstract concepts were personified as daimones. These were not independent beings, but representations of conditions, emotions, and experiences. For example, Eros, was not merely the god of love, but the personification of love itself. And Thanatos, was the personification of death. Similarly, demons in biblical accounts can be understood as representations of physical and mental afflictions rather than supernatural beings. The personification of these conditions aligns with the way illnesses were often described in the ancient world. In an age where medical science was limited, conditions such as epilepsy, schizophrenia, and paralysis were viewed as external forces oppressing the afflicted individual. This perspective is reflected in the biblical accounts where Jesus heals those suffering from what are termed demonic afflictions. These passages, when understood through the lens of ancient language and thought, suggest that what was called demonic possession was actually the manifestation of physical and psychological illnesses. Demons and cellular decay. The term daimōn, meaning divider of destinies or distributor of fortunes, can be directly linked to the natural process of cellular decay and aging. Just as the ancient Greeks saw these forces as controlling a person's fate, modern science recognizes that biological processes determine the unavoidable progression of aging and disease. Every living organism is subject to cellular aging, a process in which cells gradually lose their ability to function optimally. With each division, mutations accumulate, proteins misfold, and oxidative damage increases, leading to various age-related diseases. This biological reality can be likened to the ancient understanding of daimōn as a force that distributes human destinies, not as an external entity, but as an inherent condition of life. People are, in this sense, trapped under fate, meaning they are subject to hereditary conditions, genetic predispositions, and random illnesses that arise through cellular decay. Diseases such as arthritis, epilepsy, schizophrenia, and various degenerative disorders can be traced back to cellular mutations and imbalances. In the ancient world, these afflictions were seen as evidence of demonic oppression, but today they are understood as the natural consequences of the body's gradual decline. Demons in the Bible and physical illness. When the Bible speaks of demons, it often does so in the context of physical and mental afflictions. Several passages demonstrate this connection. Schizophrenia and mental illness. The accounts of Jesus healing demon-possessed individuals, such as in Matthew 8:28-34, Mark 5:1-20c, and Luke 8:26-39, describe behaviors consistent with severe mental illness. The afflicted individuals exhibited erratic behavior, self-harm, and social isolation, symptoms commonly associated with schizophrenia or other psychiatric disorders. Epilepsy. In Matthew 17:14-21, a young boy suffers seizures described as demonic possession. Today, these symptoms are recognized as epilepsy, a neurological disorder caused by irregular electrical activity in the brain. Arthritis and physical infirmity. In Luke 13:11-13, a woman is described as having a spirit of infirmity that left her bent over for 18 years. This condition aligns with severe arthritis or spinal degeneration, both of which result from cellular decay. Blindness. Matthew 12:22 recounts Jesus healing a man who was blind and mute, conditions attributed to demon possession. However, medical knowledge now attributes such afflictions to genetic mutations, infections, or traumatic injury. The Bible describes these ailments in terms that made sense to ancient audiences. Lacking scientific explanations, people personified illnesses as external forces. The act of casting out demons symbolized healing, demonstrating that Jesus had the power to restore health and remove suffering. Cellular decay and the law of sin and death. These conditions exist because of cellular decay and aging, which have been part of creation from the beginning. There was no fundamental change in human nature at the fall. Rather, the fall was moral, not physical. The law of sin and death, referenced in Romans 8:2, existed before Adam's transgression and governed all living things. Death was already present in the natural world, affecting both animals and plants. Cellular decay is the natural consequence of being part of a biological world subject to entropy. The suffering associated with illness and aging is not the result of external demonic forces, but rather the outworking of this inherent biological process. This understanding aligns with the biblical perspective that human suffering results from the condition of mortality rather than supernatural malevolence. Conclusion. The concept of demons in Scripture aligns with the ancient understanding of daimōn as forces that distribute destinies. Rather than referring to supernatural entities, the biblical descriptions of demons can be understood as references to physical and mental illnesses. These afflictions, in turn, result from the natural process of cellular aging and decay, which dictates human mortality. Jesus' acts of healing were not battles against malevolent spirits, but demonstrations of divine power over the consequences of mortality. He restored health, showing that the ultimate hope lies in the resurrection, where aging and decay will no longer hold dominion. The Bible's descriptions of demons, when viewed in their historical and linguistic context, reveal a profound truth. Sickness and death are not supernatural curses, but natural realities of the present age, realities that will one day be overcome through the restoration of all things.